The smell of burnt circuitry still lingered in the air when I found her. It was supposed to be a salvage run. Another lonely night on the edge of the Ceres belt, combing through derelict ships for parts worth selling. I'd been drifting between contracts for months, running low on credits, fuel, and motivation. But when my scanners picked up an unidentified distress signal pulsing faintly from the wreckage of a shattered cruiser, curiosity got the better of me. I docked my rickety ship, the Sable Wren, and stepped into what was left of the cruiser's airlock. The ship was massive, military-grade by the look of it, though its insignias were melted beyond recognition. Fires had long since burned out, leaving behind blackened walls and twisted steel. That's when I saw her, collapsed against a console in the command bay. Her armor cracked and sparking. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. Sleek obsidian plating lined with shimmering silver veins, the kind of tech that didn't belong to any faction I knew. And she was still breathing. "Hey!" I shouted through the comm. "Can you hear me?" Her visor flickered, and for a second I caught a glimpse of a face. Pale skin, sharp features, eyes glowing faintly blue before the visor dimmed again. She mumbled something in a language I didn't understand and went still. I didn't think. I just acted. Years as a mechanic kicked in. I patched her suit's coolant leak, stabilized the power cells, and dragged her back to my ship before the cruiser's unstable core could blow. By the time I got her to my repair bay, my hands were trembling. I removed her helmet carefully, expecting to find a soldier, maybe a mercenary or a lost officer. But what I saw didn't fit any classification. Her features were too perfect, too deliberate, like someone had designed her rather than birthed her. And then her eyes opened. They glowed brighter this time, scanning the room, then locking on me. "Where am I?" "You're safe," I said, stepping back. "You were in a wreck. Pulled you out. Name's Jalen. I fix things." She looked around, trying to move. Her armor whined as the systems strained. "My systems are compromised," she murmured. "Core integrity, 40%. Interface, unstable. I can repair it," I said automatically. "If you let me." Her gaze fixed on me, calculating. "You would assist me. You don't even know who I am." "Doesn't matter," I shrugged. "You're alive. That's enough." She studied me for another heartbeat, then nodded once. "Do it." Took hours. The armor structure wasn't like anything I'd ever seen. It was self-repairing nanosteel mixed with some kind of living composite, pulsing faintly as if it had a heartbeat. I worked in silence, soldering, rewiring, sealing fractures. Every time my tools sparked, the armor seemed to react, absorbing the energy like it was feeding off it. "You're good with your hands," she said softly. "Years of practice," I muttered. "This your standard issue gear?" She smiled faintly. "Not quite." When I finally sealed the last crack, the suit powered up with a low hum that vibrated through the floor. Her posture straightened, and her entire demeanor shifted. Graceful, commanding. She tapped a control on her gauntlet, and a series of glowing symbols appeared in the air. The language wasn't human. "Who are you really?" I asked quietly. She turned her gaze toward me. "I am Elera, sovereign of the astral dominion." And blinked. "Sovereign. Like a ruler." Her lips curved. "More than that. The dominion spans 13 systems. I was en route to negotiate a peace accord when my vessel was attacked." Her voice hardened. "By traitors." I stepped back, heart pounding. "You're telling me I just saved an interstellar queen?" "Not just a queen," she corrected. "The last of my line." Before I could respond, alarms blared across my ship. My scanner showed 3 vessels dropping out of warp. Sleek, silver ships bearing a crest that matched the markings on Elera's armor. Your people? Yes. She glanced at the screen, then frowned. No, my guards. But something is wrong. The ships docked automatically, overriding my security. I reached for my blaster, but Elora raised a hand. Do not interfere. Let me speak with them. The airlock hissed open, and half a dozen armored soldiers marched in, weapons raised. They wore armor similar to hers but less ornate. Their leader, a tall man with a scar across his jaw, froze when he saw her. Your Majesty, he whispered, disbelief in his voice. You're alive. The others dropped to one knee instantly. The sight made the hairs on my neck stand on end. Elora regarded them coolly. Commander Varos, you were among those assigned to my escort. Yes, my queen, he said, bowing his head. We searched for you. We thought you'd been destroyed when the Eclipsera exploded. Exploded, she repeated. You mean was sabotaged? Her tone was ice. Varos stiffened. My queen. Save your lies, she said, stepping forward. The light from her armor flared, casting long shadows across the walls. You aligned with the separatists. You sold my coordinates. I saw the transmission before my systems went dark. Varos' expression twisted. You weren't supposed to survive. He raised his weapon, but before he could fire, her armor pulsed, and a shockwave of blue energy erupted outward. The soldiers were thrown to the ground, their weapons ripped from their hands. I stumbled back, watching in awe as Elora's suit radiated power like a living star. Varos struggled to his knees, his armor flickering. Mercy, my queen. You have no right to call me that, she said coldly. With a single motion, she struck him down. The room fell silent except for the hum of her armor. Slowly she turned to me. I apologize, she said softly. You should not have seen that. I've seen worse, I lied, still trying to steady my breathing. So what happens now? She looked at me, truly looked, as if weighing something heavy in her mind. I must return to the capital. My people will think me dead. The Dominion will fall without leadership. Then go, I said. You're fixed up. You don't owe me anything. She stepped closer, her expression unreadable. You misunderstand. You saved my life, Jalen. And in the Dominion, such debts are not easily forgotten. She extended her hand. Come with me. Serve as my mechanic, my ally. You would be granted citizenship, status beyond any drifter in your system. I hesitated. I'd spent my life running from one wreck to another, fixing scraps, staying out of wars that didn't concern me. But looking at her, this woman who commanded stars yet still spoke to me with gratitude, I felt something shift. All right, I said finally. I'll come. Her lips curved in a faint smile. Then rise, Jalen of the Belt. You are now under the Sovereign's protection. The remaining guards, still kneeling, glanced up at me in awe. For the first time, I realized they weren't kneeling for her anymore. They were kneeling for us. As Elora's ship powered up, light filling the hangar like dawn breaking across the void, I understood the truth of what I'd done. I hadn't just repaired her armor. I'd restored a queen. And now, whether I liked it or not, the fate of 13 star systems was tangled with mine.